There is a moment in every broken relationship that almost no one talks about. Not the fight, not the goodbye. It's that silent second afterward, when you know it's over, but some part of you is still begging you to stay. You feel it in your chest, a tightness, a pull, like an invisible thread tying you back to someone who no longer feels like home. You tell yourself it's love. You tell yourself it's loyalty. But deep down, a quieter voice whispers something different. This is not peace. This is fear. Tonight we're going to walk straight into that moment, and we're going to look at it through the eyes of Carl Jung. Because Jung believed that letting go of someone is not just a breakup. It's a spiritual event, a meeting with your own soul. By the time we reach the end of this journey, you won't just understand why it's so hard to let go. You'll see that this pain is actually a hidden doorway into a deeper, more authentic version of you. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So, let's begin. Imagine a relationship that marked you. Maybe it was romantic. Maybe it was a deep friendship. Maybe it was someone you never officially had, but you carried them inside you like a secret. Think of that person now, not to suffer, but to observe. In Jung's view, that person did not arrive in your life by accident. They were a mirror, a living symbol of something your unconscious wanted you to see. Perhaps they reflected your hunger to be loved, your fear of abandonment, your need to be chosen, or a strength you never knew you had. Every meaningful connection, Jung would say, is charged with symbols and projections. We don't just see the person, we see what we've placed on them, the role, the fantasy, the dream. That's why letting go hurts so much. You're not only losing a person, you're losing the story you told yourself about who you were when you were with them. And yet, there comes a point where something inside you begins to rebel. You feel it as restlessness, as constant tension, as a quiet grief that never fully leaves. Days feel heavier. Conversations feel forced. You walk away from them feeling smaller, not larger. On the surface, you might say, we're just going through a phase. But your unconscious is sending a different message. This is no longer aligned with who you are becoming. We rarely listen at first. We tighten our grip. We negotiate with ourselves. If I try harder, this will work. If I change this part of me, they'll finally understand. If I'm patient enough, they'll become the version I see in my head. But the more we hold on, the more the tension grows. Because there is a deeper movement happening underground. Your soul is trying to evolve. And anything that blocks that evolution starts to feel like suffocation. Jung believed that these inner conflicts are not torture for its own sake. They are signals, the psyche's language, a way of saying you've outgrown this cage. Picture yourself carrying a backpack. At first it's light. Inside are shared memories, hopes, laughter, the warmth of being seen. But as time goes on, you begin adding weight, unspoken resentments, disappointments, promises they never kept, needs you never voiced, hurt you brushed aside just to keep the peace. Day after day, the backpack gets heavier. You tell yourself it's normal. Every relationship has problems. So you keep walking. You keep carrying. until one day you realize something simple and terrifying. You can't take another step like this. That is the moment of truth, not when they walk away, not when the final argument explodes, but when you finally admit to yourself, if I keep carrying this, I will lose myself. Letting go doesn't start with a goodbye. It starts with a decision inside. I love my peace more than I fear my emptiness. You're not erasing them. You're not pretending they never mattered. You're releasing the energy that has been locked in trying to make something work that no longer fits your soul. That is not weakness. That is courage. Jung saw the unconscious as constantly speaking to us through dreams, through moods, through the body. Maybe you've noticed this. A tight chest every time you see their name. A knot in your stomach when they text you after days of silence. A wave of relief when plans get canceled, mixed with guilt for feeling relieved. These are not random feelings. They are subtle messages. This connection is costing you too much. But here is where we often get stuck. We confuse attachment with love. We think that if we let go, the emptiness will swallow us. What if the emptiness is not a void, but a sacred space, an open field waiting for something more honest to grow, a blank canvas where your real self can finally start painting? We fear this space because it feels unfamiliar. We've built our identity around the role we played in that relationship, the caretaker, the savior, the strong one, the one who never leaves. So when life asks us to release that role, it feels like death. But Jung would say, every ending in the outer world is an invitation to a rebirth in the inner world. Let's go deeper. In Jungian psychology, every person you're drawn to carries a piece of your unconscious. You project onto them your hopes, fears, hidden desires. You're not always seeing them. You're seeing yourself on their surface. Think of a time when someone's reaction hurt you more than it should have. Their criticism cut deeper than expected. Their indifference felt like a wound. Often that pain is not just about what they did. It's about what their action touched inside you. A childhood wound, a forgotten memory, a belief that you are unlovable, not enough easy to abandon. The relationship becomes a stage, and your unconscious uses it to replay old patterns. So you can finally see them, and maybe for the first time choose differently. This is why, after letting go, many people begin to see the relationship from a new angle. What once felt like the great love of my life starts to look more like a powerful teacher. Not because the love wasn't real, but because the lesson was even more real. Letting go is not rejecting the lesson, it's honoring it. It's saying, thank you for showing me my wounds. Thank you for exposing my illusions. And now, I release you so I can heal. Of course, this sounds beautiful in theory. In reality, letting go is messy. You can decide to move on and still wake up missing them. You can block their number and still dream of them. You can feel 90% sure and then collapse into doubt when a memory hits. Jung would tell you, this doesn't mean you made the wrong choice. It means you're human. The psyche doesn't move in straight lines. Healing is not a staircase, it's a spiral. You circle the same themes again and again, but each time from a higher vantage point. Some days you feel strong, you breathe easily. You can look back with gratitude, not craving. Other days, a song, a place, a smell pulls you into the past. Your chest tightens. You question everything. Did I give up too soon? Was it really that bad? Maybe I'm the problem. In those moments, remember this. Doubt is part of the process. It is not a verdict. Your mind is trying to reconcile two realities: the comfort of the familiar and the call of your evolution. Letting go is choosing growth over comfort, again and again and again. Jung spoke of shadow, the parts of you don't like to see: envy, jealousy, neediness, rage, desperation. Relationships pull these shadows to the surface, especially the intense ones. You might see yourself begging for attention, stalking their social media, sacrificing your boundaries just to avoid conflict, saying yes when everything in you wants to scream no. Later, when you're alone, you feel ashamed. Why did I act like that? That's not me. But Jung would say it is you, not the whole of you, but a disowned part asking to be seen. Letting go is not just walking away from someone, it's turning toward these shadows with courage. Instead of saying I was pathetic, you ask, what was I afraid of? What belief about myself drove me to cling so hard? Where in my past did I learn that love means abandoning myself? This is the inner work, the real breakup, not just with them, with the old version of you that thought you had to shrink in order to be loved. There is a phase Jung called the dark night of the soul, a period where the old structures collapse, but the new ones haven't yet formed. In letting go, this can feel like emotional freefall. Nothing feels stable. Routine feels empty. The future looks blurry. You might ask yourself, who am I without this person? Who am I if I'm not the one who always tries to fix everything? Who am I if I don't have this drama to orbit around? This is the most dangerous moment, because the temptation to run back is strong, not because it was right, but because it was known. The psyche craves meaning even more than comfort, so it would rather go back to a painful pattern than stand in a stretch of blank space. But if you can endure this night, something begins to shift. Little by little, tiny signals of new life appear. You laugh at something and it feels genuine. You notice you can go a whole afternoon without thinking of them. You realize your breathing is deeper. Your shoulders aren't always tense. It's subtle, but it's real. This is the soul reorganizing itself around a new truth. I am still here. I am still whole, even without them. Jung used the word individuation to describe the process of becoming who you truly are. Not who you were told to be, not who someone needed you to be, but who your soul is quietly shaping you to become. Letting go of a misaligned relationship is one of the most powerful catalysts for individuation, because so often we bend ourselves into shapes just to keep someone close. You mute your voice so they won't feel threatened. You shrink your dreams so they won't feel left behind. You tolerate disrespect so you won't be alone. Every time you do that, a part of you steps back into the shadows, and after a while you look in the mirror and don't fully recognize yourself. Letting go is the moment you say, no more. I will not trade my soul for proximity. I will not negotiate my worth to remain in rooms that do not honor me. From the outside, it might look like you're losing a partner, losing a friend, losing a familiar life. Inside, something else is happening. You are reclaiming your energy. You are calling your scattered pieces back home. And with that energy, your creativity returns. Your curiosity returns. Your ability to dream returns. Things that felt impossible while you were entangled start to feel available. This is not a coincidence. It is your psychic energy being redistributed, just as Jung described, less invested in trying to fix someone else, more invested in building a life that actually fits you. And then something strange begins to occur. Synchronicities. You think about changing careers and a conversation appears with exactly the right information. You decide to focus on healing, and you stumble on a book, a video, a message that speaks directly to your heart. You choose solitude for a while, and in that silence, a new idea, a new passion starts whispering. It feels like the universe is finally speaking your language. But in truth, it was always speaking. You just couldn't hear it over the noise of forcing what had already expired. Jung gave a name to these meaningful coincidences: synchronicity. Moments when the inner world and outer world seem to dance together. When you stop pouring your energy into what drains you, you become more sensitive to these subtle alignments. You notice the doors that open, the people who show up and feel different. Less like a test, more like a match for the person you are becoming. This is one of the quiet gifts of letting go. Your life begins to feel less like a battlefield and more like a conversation. But let's clear something up. Letting go is not the same as closing your heart. You don't need to become cold to protect yourself. You don't need to hate them to move on. You don't need to erase every memory to prove you're strong. True letting go is softer than that. It is not a slammed door. It is a release. You can honor what the relationship gave you and still accept it has reached its natural end. You can feel gratitude and grief at the same time. You can say, you were important, and also, you are not my future. This is emotional maturity, and it comes from self-acceptance. Jung believed that everything we chase outside already exists within us. Love, validation, worth, safety. When you cling to someone out of fear, you're really saying, I don't trust that I can hold these things for myself. When you let go, you begin to experiment with a different truth. Maybe I can. You start small. You show up for yourself when the loneliness hits. You comfort your own heart instead of waiting for their message. You build routines that nourish you: sleep, movement, creativity, connection with people who don't drain you. Slowly, your nervous system learns something radical. I can be my own safe place. From there, relationships are no longer cages or lifelines. They are choices, not a desperate search for completion, but a joyful sharing of wholeness. So how do you know deep down that it's time to let someone go? Not from fear, not from impulse, but from truth. Your mind will make lists of pros and cons. Friends will offer their opinions. Your history with that person will tug at you. But Jung would point you somewhere else. Your intuition, that quiet center inside you, the knowing beneath the noise. It often speaks in simple sentences. I don't feel safe here. I am always tired after seeing them. I can't be myself around this person. This is hurting me more than it helps me. You may have been overriding this voice for months, years, even decades. Letting go begins the moment you decide, I will no longer betray this voice. Will it still be painful? Yes. Will there be nights you question everything? Yes. But now you suffer with a purpose, not because you're clinging to what's killing you, but because you're walking through the necessary fire that leads to your own rebirth. Picture your life as a river. As long as you cling to a rock in the middle, you stay stuck. Yes, you're holding on to something solid. Yes, you're not being swept away, but you're also not moving. Your arms are tired, your body aches, and the scenery never changes. Letting go is not about throwing yourself into chaos with no direction. It's about trusting that the river has its own intelligence. That if you release your grip, the current will carry you to new shores. At first, the water feels wild. You feel exposed, vulnerable. But then, the current slows. The landscape opens. You realize you've reached places you never would have discovered if you'd stayed holding that same cold stone in the middle of the stream. This is how life works. When you dare to let go, you don't fall into nothingness. You fall into movement. So now bring your attention back to yourself, not the person you're trying to let go of. You. Notice your body, the tightness, the tiredness, the places that feel heavy when you think about them. Ask yourself gently, what am I still carrying that no longer belongs to me? A version of you that only knows how to please others? A story that says, being alone means being unworthy? A belief that your needs are too much or inconvenient? What would happen if you set those down? Not all at once, just one piece at a time. Maybe today you stop checking their phone. Maybe tonight you let yourself cry without judging it as weakness. Maybe this week you speak one boundary out loud that you usually keep silent. Each small act is a thread snapping. Each honest choice is a step out of the old pattern. This is letting go in real time, not dramatic, not cinematic, just deeply, quietly brave. One day, without noticing exactly when it happened, you wake up and realize something. You are not waiting for a message. You are not rehearsing old conversations in your head. You are not constantly scanning the past for what-ifs. There is a softness in your chest, a spaciousness in your mind, a sense that you belong to yourself again. You might even feel gratitude, not for the pain you endured, but for what the pain pushed you to become. Because without that friction, you might have stayed asleep in a life too small for you. Without that heartbreak, you might never have discovered your own depth. This is the hidden gift Jung wanted us to see. The purpose of relationships is not just happiness. It is revelation. They reveal our wounds, our shadows, our patterns, our strength, our capacity to rise. And sometimes, their ultimate lesson is this: You are allowed to leave what hurts you. You are allowed to choose yourself. So now one last question. If you stopped clinging to what no longer resonates, what could you gain? More energy, more creativity, more peace. The chance to meet someone who loves the version of you that is fully alive, not half-dimmed. Or maybe the greatest gain of all, a relationship with yourself that is no longer built on self-abandonment. Letting go is not the end of your story. It is the plot twist that opens a whole new chapter. A chapter where love does not mean losing yourself, where connection does not mean carrying all the weight, where your heart is open but your boundaries are clear. A chapter where you stand in your own life and say, I am not empty, I am not broken, I am not incomplete. I am in the process of becoming who I really am, and anyone who walks with me from here will meet me there. That is the quiet, fierce power of letting go, not losing someone else, but finally finding yourself.